Valley that they based that on.
Right,
right?
He's out there in
Yeah.
Oklahoma at the new
Yeah.
track right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been out there for 2 weeks now.
We had
That
numbers
track's
assigned?
beautiful there, indoors.
No, I just printed out in
Okay.
case you guys wanted to.
No worries, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
Yeah,
missing.
they got,
All righty, it is 6 PM. Let us call the May 9th Leisure Services Advisory Board meeting to order here in Oldsmar, Florida. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Trust everyone as well. Belated Happy Mother's Day to those
Mother's Day.
appropriate. And welcome to our visitor. And I see we have one applicant present, so that makes it a little bit easier. Also present, Chip Potts, the Leisure Services Director, and John, the Recreation Supervisor. And everybody knows Ann. So, first order of business is to approve, or the Citizens Open Forum. I'm sorry, Rich, anything? Okay, so let's move on to the approval of minutes dated from our February meeting. Comments, additions, corrections?
The only thing that I saw says Pledge of Allegiance was recited, led by Holly. Can we either just leave it as Holly or cross out Stevens? Stevens is not her last name.
Oh, yes, I can change that.
Okay.
There we go. So a first name celebrity, a one-name celebrity, yes.
Everyone just knows Holly.
All right, anything else, folks? Additions, corrections? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so be it. So with Tatiana now moving up to the regular board position, we have two alternates on the Leisure Services Advisory Board. Pam, who is not here tonight, is alternate number one. And we had 5 applicants invited. It's maybe number 2, I'm not sure. Applicant? Okay, so,
Seat up there, honey. I'm sitting down here because of my cold, so you get to sit in the big seat today.
Zach, right? Zach? Okay. Gentlemen, applying for the vacant position?
Next door.
Oh,
This is Jackson's father.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you said Jack. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm
look
sorry.
familiar, I just don't
Sorry.
see it that often.
Sorry, Jackson's dad. So we have an alternate position open, and Mr. Steve Phillips is the only applicant who is present. If you will remember, we interviewed him 6 months ago. Steve, you want to come on up? You are familiar with the alternate position?
Yes.
Okay. Just know that it's, just as a reminder, a non-voting position unless there is an absentee on the regular board. You would be alternate number 2. You want to give us your 30-second bio? Take 45 seconds. Give us your 45-second bio and your interest again.
I've been a resident of Baltimore since 1984 in Harbor Palms. My children both played Little League baseball here and football, and I coached Little League for about 12, 13 years in Oldsmar. I was on the Oldsmar Board of Directors. We were on the first ones that incorporated, and I was also involved when we built the field down there and worked out of a metal shed for the snack bar until the one was built. I'm president of the Oldsmar East Lake Rotary Club. I'm also on the board of directors for East Lake Woodlands Condo Association 3. I was a business owner, well, I still am, but I had a business, air conditioning business that here in Oldsmar since 1997. My son now runs it. My son and I also have a property management business that we work out of here, Oldsmar here, so that's about the short of it.
We want to do questions. If you remember your question, Amber, from the last time?
I do, but he already answered some of these
Oh,
questions.
well,
remember?
okay, all right.
So we might have to
We have a
pick
list of
different ones.
questions. You have it, okay. Tatiana, any question for Steve?
No.
I'm glad that you're interested, obviously in showing up for the second time.
I would have been here in the last meeting, but I had an emergency the day before. I was called out of the state.
It happens.
Yeah.
Ken?
No, I remember you from the last time you came up 6 months ago, and you're a good candidate for us, help out.
Yep.
So,
We do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I remember you.
We're
from
gonna
last-
give it a second shot.
Yeah, I remember from last time too. I think I remember.
Suda?
I don't know if it's out of order, since Steve's the only one that's come in today and shown the interest, I would recommend we move right on and get him on the board on the second alternate position. Are we allowed to do that directly?
Yeah,
I
you
make a
just do
motion that Steve's shown an interest, sounds like he'd be a good asset, and we'd like him to fill the second alternate position on the board.
I agree.
Second, Tatiana? Second, okay.
By default.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So be it. Ann,
Not
any
so much by default, but in showing your interest.
Unanimous. Any idea, Ann, when he might go before city council?
Yes, if you could come to the June 1st meeting, we'll send you a letter, because then council will.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
First council meeting, council will formally appoint you at that meeting at 7 o'clock here in the same room.
Okay,
First. June 1st, yeah.
okay,
If you're not available, then just let us know and we can reschedule that. We've got a couple months to work with.
okay,
Okay, and I'll email you a bunch of stuff to get you up to speed as well.
okay. All right.
Thank you.
Get you on the docket for our August, meeting. They won't grill you too bad. They're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. Chip?
June 7th is the first meeting.
Oh, yes, June 7th,
June
the first
7th.
Tuesday in
June
June.
Yeah, I'm thinking, hold on.
June 7th, Steve. Okay?
Okay.
June 7th, okay.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
And the other four will be notified that we have chosen a position. I'm sorry, I'm confused. Do their names stay in for the next one, or
Are they what?
the other four that we did not choose from that submitted, do they stay in for the next opening position?
Yes, all of them except for one, because that person has not shown up for several times that we've offered him board positions.
I would agree with that if we've asked him to come several times. Do we know who that one is to cross off our list, or?
Yes, Dave McDonald.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Great, thank you, Steve. Thanks for your
Thanks,
time.
Steve.
Welcome.
Steve.
Okay, next item on the agenda is our
This
month.
officially, Ann?
No, I think we're fine because there's only one person. There's a motion second in
Okay.
the past.
Next item is our monthly reports, which we always appreciate receiving. The detailed information that we get is always appreciated.
You may have received one today, because
Yes, we did.
I did submit one
Yes,
today,
we did.
so
Yes.
we're up to speed. So anyway, I'm just going to recap the past couple of months. Obviously, as we all know, spring and fall are the busy seasons with our special events. So I'm just going to recap some of the successes that we had this past spring. I'm just going to go down my bullet point list here in no particular order, but we did have the family game night. That was the first one that we ran, the family game night that John and his staff, Eric Pavlica, put together. Really wonderful event. We had live music, food trucks, games, life-size games. We had golf and bocce, and it was just all kinds of fun stuff out there. The disc golf club was out there with disc golf frisbee, so that was a really fun night. We had about 400 people that came through that one, and unfortunately,
Second one
the
got rained
second
out.
one got rained out. For whatever reason, if we're ever in a drought, just have Leisure Services plan some kind of special event on a Friday. That's how it kind of works around here, I think.
Very powerful, Chip.
Gosh. So then we had Sunset Sounds with Audio Star. We had 120 at that event. Movie in the Park for Jungle Book had about 160. Chalk the Park, plural, because we expanded this time to not just do it at Ari Olds Park. We did it at Ari Olds, Cypress Forest, and over at Sheffield. And between the 3 parks, we estimated about 450 participants to chalk the parks.
Awesome.
Really good artwork out there, too. I think John and Eric have pictures. Another program, it's new. You've probably seen it in the magazine, kind of ties in with our Oldsmar and Orbit program that you see down at Ari Olds Park that's installed down there. But it's called Stargazers. And John has, he just, you know, in the theme of Oldsmar and Orbit, created this program, and he's partnered up with St. Pete Astronomy Club, and they bring out these really big telescopes. And I missed the last one last Thursday night. It was a beautiful night. He texted me and said there was 25 people here, and I'm like, oh, I missed it, you know. So anyway, but yeah, so we get to come out. It's free. People get to look through the telescope, see some of the stars, and get some education because the astronomers are more than willing to, you know, provide that information. So that's really cool, and that's down at Veterans Memorial Park. You know, I mentioned Oldsmar and Orbit. We had our ribbon cutting for that back a couple months ago or a month or so ago. We had about 100 people in attendance there. We did Kite Day, had about 275 people at Kite Day out at Sheffield Park.
Nice.
The Extravaganza event, which John brought back. I've never been a big fan of egg hunts, but you know, I let them do their thing. And sure enough, they had about 1,000 people out for that event, and very well organized and orchestrated. They're over quickly, as you know, but they did a great job partitioning off different areas of the park so that the different age groups could go and be safe, and they did a really good job with that. Of course, we had the Little Mermaid performance by Opal. Close to
Quite the attendance numbers.
Yes. He was saying quite the attendance numbers.
yes, we're about 400, we would say, at the event.
408 at last count.
So yeah, so
that
right
was good
around
numbers.
400. So that was a successful event. On the parks side, we did a tree giveaway. I think it was 2 Saturdays ago. We gave away 150 trees. All of the trees were taken.
15 minutes or something?
Yeah,
maybe?
they went fast. They went fast. What's interesting is the first year we did it, we had 300 trees, and we gave all of them away. And then last year when we did it, we only gave away about 175 trees. So we're like, okay, let's go with 150. And now we probably could have given away 300 again. So it's like, so as we planned in our budget, we're going to do that event alternating years. So next year we won't have it the year. So every even year we're going to plan on the tree giveaway. We also had a successful Mardi Gras fundraiser held by Oldsmar Friends of the Arts over at the library. The Oldsmar Friends of the Arts did an outstanding job. I don't know if anybody had a chance to go, but you know, kind of some things fell through with the tent and all this stuff. But boy, they really made the place look wonderful with string lights, and they did a great job. So congrats to them. One of our, I guess we call it a co-sponsor event. It was approved by council for a fee waiver request, but the Pinellas Festival of Bands was at Ari Olds Park in March, the beginning of March, in March, and there had to be between 600 to 1,000 people over the course of the day. I mean, they were just coming and going. So that was a great event, hosting that. And then we had Sunset Sounds last Friday with Brother Brownlow, and we had about 150 in the park there. Some of the things that we've done with our events recently, with our parking, you probably heard some rumble about the parking. You know, we don't allow parking on the we ceased allowing parking on the medians on Shore Drive, purely from a safety perspective, because there's no way to get from your vehicle in that median to a crosswalk. So, you know, with the unfortunate incident that happened, we've eliminated the parking in the medians. We've opened up the bike lanes on Park and Bayview to allow people to park now on Park and Bayview, which now gives us a little bit more relief from the medians on Shore Drive. And we've also implemented a shuttle service from the library. John and some of the staff did a couple of different loops, and I know you asked about veterans. We kind of looked at veterans, and we looked at the library and where could we do it. And it seemed like the library was the best spot because they have paved parking, there's parking spots, there's lighting, and there's handicap parking there as well. So, and the thing about veterans is that there's about 20 spots at veterans, but then anything over that, then we have to open the grass parking, which then means we have to have staff at that location so people don't block people in and all that fun stuff. So, but anyway, so the shuttle service won't be for every event, but it'll be for the larger events. So if we're going to be 400, 500 people, then we'll consider implementing the shuttle service.
That goes for Oldsmar Days.
Oldsmar Days, yeah, any of the bigger special
Celebrate
events, yeah,
Oldsmar,
all of the,
yeah.
like for example, Pinellas Festival bands will have, we're gonna have to build that into the agreements that we have with those groups that come in to offer shuttle service. So,
We can give them early notice.
yeah, or early notice, yeah. So this was, we kind of just, it came to it's like, okay, what do we need to do to relieve this? Okay, so let's go, let's implement it. Here we go. So-
Implemented it 2 days before our show, so they heard that from me.
No, I think
That's
we were.
okay.
Was it? No, you were the second go round. You were the second
second
go
go
round.
round, okay.
Yeah. We were the lucky first ones. We did it to ourselves. So anyway, that's it on the events. That update. Moving on to the project updates. As I was mentioning to Ken a little bit before the meeting started, the BMX track, the starting hills are poured, and the equipment such as the rails and the starting gates are going in. To give us enough time after completion, we're planning our grand opening for June 25th. So that'll give us a couple of weeks to hammer out any operational things that we feel like we need to address. But June 25th will be the date for grand opening.
How long's that been down, Chip?
April of 2019. So it's 3 years.
Wow.
3 years it's been down. But we're excited, and we have heard. We were out. I was out there 2 weeks ago with one of the personnel from Stantec, the engineering firm, Mike McIntyre from Action Sports, and he came out with his altimeter, and he's got it on the bottom of the hill, and he's going all the way top. He's taking measurements all the way up. It is perfect. He gets to the top of the hill. It's 5.0000003 meters. I mean, it is right there. So he's like, this is going to be the best hill in the country. This is great. So we're excited about that.
Is that a ribbon cutting ceremony?
It will be, yes, it'll be. John and Jason Conklin are going to plan that. I think what we're looking at is probably doing it in the afternoon, because in the summer, we understand, it's just there's no perfect time. The problem is that we're inviting not just the local community, we're inviting riders from all over. So if people want to travel from around the state to come here for the day, take a 2 hour a 2 hour drive or a 3 hour drive to come for that event, then, we got to kind of do that in the evening time. So we're going to hopefully race under the lights that night. So it'll be an open event to the public, free, get the local community in, let the kids try their track again, give information about our programming and things like that. And then we'll get into and let them do like a local race. And then we'll get into, some of the more experienced racers racing on the 8 meter hill. And we're planning on having a purse for that. So we're hoping to do like a kind of little pro-am kind of event. So give away some money. We have some sponsors. Karen Beal, who is administrative assistant for us. She's been handling sponsorships last week, and she just got more at the end of the week. But she has $9,000 in sponsorships that she's raised in cash for the track and for the purses and things like that. So she's just really knocking it out. So congrats to her on that. Let's see, other project updates. The vendor for the air conditioning project at Cypress Forest Rec Center has been selected. Every air conditioning job, parts are hard to come by, so we're probably not looking till August on this one. I wanted this one to be first. We've got the reverse osmosis water treatment plant, we've got the library, and we did Cypress Forest Rec Center at the same time. Just the complexity of the project, if you've never seen, the units are in the upstairs area at Cypress. I don't know how they must have got them in by helicopter sometime when they first built the building. I don't know, but I've been up there, and I don't know how they got them up there. So anyway. Exciting stuff. We've got the baseball, softball field renovations about to begin. Met with the vendor last week. They will begin actually excavating the fields in June. They'll be out there prior to that to prep the grass surface so they can remove it. But that's going to be a total renovation of those ball fields. So we're excited about that. And again, that's starting in June, and they'll probably be down all summer and probably won't reopen until August.
Has the drainage problem on Field 7 been addressed?
That's addressed in this project. So not only with Field 7, you've got that all the fields are going to be laser graded so that there'll be a consistent runoff and there won't be peaks and valleys in that. And then also what we're going to be doing at the same time on the outside of the fields proper in the common areas, we're going to be excavating and I guess rejuvenating the swale areas, making them so we get the proper runoff there. Because we found, in talking with the vendors, there's lips at the end of the field that keep the water from flowing out. So now that'll be addressed, and hopefully, not just on field 7, but the other fields as well. Let's see, 2 other things here. The waterway markers were installed on the kayak trail
I saw
out here at Mobley, so that project is complete. I talked with Tatiana at the Volunteer Appreciation Dinner. We were talking about no wake zones and idle zones, because we get some people that come up to the into that little bay area and up by the floating dock with their jet skis and really zip around. So I've been in touch with FWC, and they've sent me an application to request no wake idle zone signs. Cool. So unfortunately, we just can't go in and stick them in ourselves. It's a whole process. So, but we're gonna put one of our staff on that project.
Thank you.
Yes. And then we installed a new swing set over at Orioles Park. We opened it up last week. So the new swing set is in over there. And it was, when I was at the Brother Brownlow on Friday night for a little while, it was just jam-packed with kids running around. So that's great. So that's project update. Upcoming events, we've got Sandcastle Day on May the 14th, Movie in the Park on May the 20th, and we've got Miss Suda's Dancers on Saturday, May 21st. So that's my kind of brief recap update.
Thank you, Sarah. We always appreciate it. Suda.
Couple quick questions. Do we have another family night scheduled?
Yeah, we'll do it again in probably the beginning of October.
Gotcha, so it's later on, that's, okay, gotcha.
The logistics of rescheduling that with the different vendors and bounce houses, the food trucks and everything on a short notice, and now we're getting into the rainy, it's getting hotter and rainy.
The Chalk the Park was great. The people you put at the other parks, though, you need to give them some sales tips. I ended up having to sell for him because everybody kept coming in going, what's the guy doing sitting out there? And I'm like, well, that's for us to get the chalk and go chalk. That was over at the rec center. So I gave him a couple tips to say, you need to greet people and tell them, here's chalk if you want to do it.
Gotcha.
But I thought it was very successful, and I thought it was great that you ran it across a few of the parks. The trees, I know years ago those used to be donated, but you guys are having to purchase those now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's still a good thing that you're carrying on. It'd be nice to find someone to donate them again in the future, but. And the grand opening on June 25th, that'll be an invite of some sort to all boards as well?
Yes, you'll receive invitations.
Okay, and that was it, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chip. And next item on our agenda is the Leisure Services Learning Moment. I take it this will be
Like
from
John's
John.
taking that one away. Dun, dun, dun.
Actually, I'm gonna do two birds with one stone here, so I'm gonna kind of get ahead of myself. Next.
Don't open those yet.
Don't open
All
it.
right.
Can't look at it.
Don't open it till Christmas.
They all have alarms, I'll know.
Uh-oh.
There's tape for the piece of hair.
No cheating.
Rich, you see the pressure we're under? We can't even open.
I was like, I'll trade you.
I don't follow direction well.
I like purple.
Good afternoon, good evening. John Lindsay, Leisure Services Supervisor. So our minute today is about the spray park. I just kind of wanted to give you some insight on our spray park because it's not something that just kind of opens up in the morning and closes at night. Many of you probably have pools. Think about what you do to your pool once a week. We do that, every day, twice. There's a lot of work that goes into keeping that spray park healthy. It's a lot of water and a lot of little bodies and diapers and other things. Work to that. And what you guys probably don't realize is that the city actually has 2 certified pool operators. These are the same quality, the same caliber that you would get at like a Disney park. So we have to go through all this training. So we have 2 people on hand for that, as well as other people that monitor the system pretty much 24/7. So it's not just a place where the water comes out when you hit the button. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. And I just wanted you guys to know that. There's controllers. It's the chemicals go in automatically. It's kind of a dance between chlorine and pH and keeping things balanced. The pumps are massive sand filters that we have to backwash pretty much every 3 or 4 days because we only have an 800-gallon tank, and there's, again, a lot of diapers and a lot of little bodies walking through there. So we really go above and beyond the standards that we're required to make sure that it's a healthy environment. But you guys really should be proud of that spray park, because we are. A lot of people involved.
Is there limits on how many you're allowed in there at certain times, or you haven't run into that to being an issue yet?
I think it's 40, somewhere between 40 and 50.
Okay, but it hasn't become a problem where you
No,
have to cut numbers or anything?
it just
Okay,
seems
good.
that it's,
It regulates.
yeah, there's a limited space, so you can only put so many humans out there at one time.
Gotcha.
So they figure it out.
One more question.
Yep.
The last time I was there, because right now there's one entrance you can use on the left-hand side. It used to be on the right, but the truck is using that right now, correct?
The service entrance, yeah.
Yes. So on the left-hand side, it doesn't really, it seems like the sign fell down. It doesn't really say entrance, because I've had some friends that are confused on which way to go. And it did used to say entrance, but now it doesn't really.
On the one on the
Left-hand side.
left-hand side with the safety fence?
Correct.
Well, we can take a look at that,
Okay.
see what needs to happen there. The reason that main entrance is there is because that's where we get our chemicals, and we can't,
Right.
it's hard to
So I
move that
just-
stuff.
There's a lot of people I see, they start going that way. And
Yeah.
So maybe if there's more of a sign that says the entrance is to the left.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. We can put it right next to the parking meter so people can see that too as well, like an arrow or something. So if you have any questions about the spray park, it'd be more than, I'm actually one of the certified pool operators, so
I like the
so
buckets. They're there.
the buckets are good.
I rode through there the other night. It's just beautiful, you know.
It's-
real nice.
I was there this morning and it was really hot and I was like, God, I just want to walk through it. I just want to, kids, get out.
Well, we're getting a lot of recognition because I have a lot of friends from not Oldsmar residents that have called me. Same
Yeah.
with the new park in Arios, and they're like, "Oh my God, Oldsmar is like the best of everything." I'm like, "Yeah."
It's one of our best kept secrets, and it's getting out there. People are
Yes.
it's busy during the day, so it's
Yeah, that word is
families are
spreading.
finding it, so it's good. And then on the weekends, it's just a madhouse. So, all right, I'm just going to stand here because I'm the next one.
For the survey.
We open our
is.
Christmas folders
It
yet?
is. You can open your folders now. Open your hymnals to page 1. I want to congratulate you.
Next item is our survey report, by the way, so.
So congratulations on your survey. We had over 300 respondents,
Great.
which is great. So the packets that I gave you today are really, it's just a culmination of everything that was garnered from the survey. There are 4 different questions that allowed for any kind of answer, a free-formed answer. So I made sure that you had every answer
I'll
there.
say.
So we didn't compile anything. We just gave you the raw results. The questions that have the graphs are questions that were specific enough to where we could give you results for those answers right now. But this is something for you guys to kind of take away. There's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of one-offs that I found myself that were kind of intriguing. There were a lot of things that were asked for that obviously our infrastructure doesn't allow or won't facilitate. That's for you to discuss. There's a lot of stuff in there, though, that we do have infrastructure in place for right now that we can address. A lot of things about kayaking and boating and walking and things like that. There were a few things about, getting a swimming pool. Well, we got a spray park. So there's a lot of information in there for you to take away and kind of sit down and formulate questions maybe for your next meeting. We're going to take, my staff and I are going to take this away as well, and we're going to do our own little kind of survey deconstruction and see what we can pull out of this. And hopefully when we get back together at the next meeting, our list will be relatively similar. But I'm interested to see what your takeaway is going to be.
It's interesting that, you can see some of the questions like answered 309, and then another question, only 182 people answered it. Almost like a ballot in a political race. There are some questions that were skipped, some were answered more than others, but beautiful detail, John.
Thank you.
Wow.
And the other thing that you should be, or that I'm happy to see, and I do a lot of survey work, is that usually when you have questions that give the end user the opportunity to answer multiple times, they can do one answer, or in this case, 2 or 3 answers. Your return on the questions that gave the end user the opportunity to give 3 answers was phenomenal. So you had a lot of people that did give 3 answers when they had the opportunity. Obviously, they don't always run the same, but normally you see a huge drop off in the 3rd answer. You guys had a lot of responses. So I'm real happy with the results, and I just, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think.
At our next meeting, feedback, comments, what you saw jumped out at you from the answers. And your staff is developing some recommendations also.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at this
Yeah.
stuff.
I had a few interesting, just a minor, interesting events when I was, interviewing at the park. More than one person commented on the cleanliness of our restrooms, especially at Veterans Park, which was, a tip of the hat. And one couple that I approached and asked, about completing a survey, the gentleman told me, he said, "Am I allowed to be here? I'm from Cuba." I don't know, I had my shirt on. I don't know if I looked intimidating or, but by all means, enjoy the park. But it was, another thing, I guess, that we take our freedoms for granted.
Right.
But he, am I allowed to be here? Please, enjoy it. Yeah. Anybody else have any interesting thing when they were interviewing or passing out a survey?
I think everybody was really like willing to take the survey, which was pretty nice. There definitely, I didn't get a no at all. And how excited they were about the events that I asked, of like what we were doing, all the events that were going on. It was like everybody was excited about what we were doing and the direction that we're going. So I think that, just that feedback alone was nice to see, like, cool, you like it here, huh?
Anybody else? Anything?
Well, I was running a couple shows, so I wasn't able to help much, but what I do see that is always, for years and years, always been an issue, but it pops out at me right away, is on page 8. If your family does not attend the city classes or events, why? And it's the same old answer, they don't know about them. So I know we're improving on that, I know our magazine's helping with that, flyers, Facebook, and everything else, but since 1980, that's been the same complaint. So we'll just keep working on improving what we can do, yeah.
And we got like 11.5% responses from people that are not from Oldsmar, which
Yep.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Jackson, Devin, you have any experiences when you were you guys surveying?
Just
Pardon?
I was studying for my classes, so not really.
Okay, Jackson?
I had classes, but I was still able to go out and advertise, and I guess it's all about just getting people excited for it. Like getting people pumped up for it. I think making people motivated to actually take the survey is important.
The age demographic you'll see was interesting. It was kind of very middle-ish. Very few old people, Rich. We just. I had a box in my clubhouse in Guller Village, and I got one paper survey back, and I had asked them to put it in our newsletter for the month of, I think, April, and they failed to put it in. So I don't know if anybody scanned on there. We do have some people that use smartphones, but
Was it just our board doing, or did you have staff doing it also, or just?
Board driven.
Just board driven, great.
Yeah,
So good response. I again apologize, I couldn't help, but you guys did a great job on getting some good responses and getting out to a nice variety of people.
It was fun getting out there. I mean, my wife is like, go talk, go.
Thank you,
gave you
John.
permission to talk?
I know, I usually have a lot of
Pink
talk.
folder, and I know that was purposely, but
Thank you, John.
Anytime I was at the park, bring my kids, I would try to remember to bring my shirt and
Yeah.
wear it, and that's when I
I
would
took the
talk to
I had the
people.
QR on my phone, and I was like, yeah, scan
I
that.
had some friends that were like, "Oh, I keep forgetting." I'm like, "Let me take your phone and just fill it out for you." I didn't, but I wanted to.
Okay, so August meeting, come back with any insight, things that jump out at you, recommendations, and John will have some more detailed recommendations
That's a lot of data.
to proceed from this. Okay, great job, guys. All right, next item of business is new business. I'll just start, Chip or John, these steps that come up from the water at Veterans Park up to the pavilion, could we get some yellow marking on them, or at least on the, for old people, it's tough. I mean, there's yellow.
Yes, there's yellow on the step downs into the gazebo area, so that's another area we can certainly address.
Okay, thank you. Okay. New business. Devin, anything?
I noticed a problem with Oriole Park recently is that there was a bunch of, I want to say delinquency happening. A couple of weeks ago, I went out and there were a couple of people out there and there was very fresh spray paint. In like slides and stuff. I sent an email about it and I think y'all got it clean up, but.
Yes, unfortunately, graffiti is a challenge that we face on a weekly basis, whether it's at Orioles, if it's at Sheffield, it's on the disc golf course. So you're correct, it was out there and then our staff addressed it right then. This one was a little more difficult to get off for whatever reason. It was on the plastic up inside of the play piece, one of the play pieces at the playground. So unfortunately, it happens. We address it as quickly as we can. So if you guys happen to see it, just give us a call. And a lot of times we'll just get there'll be something on social media that somebody says, oh, there's something on the playground, or they'll call into our city hall and notify us that way. So we try to keep up with them. I didn't know Bart Simpson was so popular still. That's we get a lot of Bart Simpson.
I thought it was like under bridges and stuff like that.
Sometimes under the where the bypass canal is, under the bridge where you go from Oldsmar Sports Complex down the trail by Sheffield Park, we get it there. On the water pipe that goes across the outfall canal is a popular place.
Yeah, well, I also noticed the problem with the new swings. They're amazing. I love the swing set, but the partner swing acts as a staircase that people are using to climb up on top of the frame, and I'm worried about injuries or like property damage.
I've heard that. People are climbing.
Yeah.
Kids.
Climbing
I haven't seen it yet.
To climb up and swing from the red.
Climbing up on top of the
like a staircase or ladder. So there's a.
What are they using?
The partner swing.
partner swing.
Yeah, it's the design specifically. It's too connected. There's another design that I saw over by the East Countryside Hospital. There's a small park back there where it's more like a classic swing where it's more chains and there's like one metal frame that attaches it all at the top, where it's much less likely to use this. Something like that if there's.
Yeah, there's multiple types of play pieces, as you've mentioned, that are out there that can be looked at. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to jump too soon because it happened once or twice or something. It's playground.
I will comment, the bicyclers have been curbed in a bit more since they threatened to take away bikes of anyone
Good.
not following the rules. I haven't seen them up on top of the shelter with the bikes. I haven't seen them doing wheelies across 3 feet in front of cars recently and things like that, so. And I think that was smart. You threatened to take the kid's bike away. You don't penalize the parent just because they're not watching their kid. You penalize the kid for misbehaving.
Yeah, it's. I
I
noticed that as
understand,
well.
right after that went into effect, there was a couple of bikes taken away.
Yeah.
So the word got around and they're getting a little better behaved. Thank you.
Judah, anything new? Any new business?
No.
Jackson, anything new business to bring up?
No, not really, but there are a lot of really good ideas on the survey. I'm actually kind of glad that we did this.
You'll be our lead hitter for comments. How's that? Remember that for August, somebody? Amber?
Nothing new.
Joe?
No, nothing.
New? Ken? Deanna?
One of the things I saw, I was up at Rock Hill recently for the national race, and I saw they brought their whole school system in for one morning for a field trip. You think that might help drum up more interest since we're opening the track back up at the national? You know you're gonna have a lot of Olympians here.
Right. We can certainly contact the schools. That will be during summer break, but we can certainly notify our summer campers and.
I was thinking about for the national. I believe we have.
Oh, you're
one
talking
in
about
October,
during
yeah.
Gators. Oh, during Gator Nationals in October. Okay, sure. We can contact the schools. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event. If you're not aware, for the Gator Nationals.
I think they brought them in on a Friday. It was kind of funny because all the buses started showing up. They had a section for them. And
Okay.
it was pretty interesting.
Interesting. I'll look into that. I'll have Jason look into that.
But it was really cool to see it because we all of a sudden the stands just burst into a lot bigger than we thought.
That's cool.
So.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Just consideration.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Kayak Anglers is doing summer camp. We're doing fishing and boating camp at Mobley Bayou Preserve, so I'm excited about that. Especially because I saw so many kayaks and fishing requests. So it's gonna be 2 weeks in July, and it's gonna be open for kids 8 to 16 years old.
Wonderful.
So I can't go.
Fake ID, Joe.
All right.
You gonna check ID? Yes.
Take you in as a volunteer.
Okay. All right, so I don't know where the line is drawn with board comments and new business, but board comments, I'll just throw out, I guess it could have been new business, but the Historical Society will be doing a Jolly Trolley tour on October 15th. 2 of them, actually. We last did it for the centennial back, I guess it was for the centennial, 2017. It'll be a kind of a tour of the city, narrated by
Nice.
I guess.
yeah, October 15th. It'll be early afternoon, two tours, I think. I don't know, if we sell out, we'll do 3. And it'll wind up at the Women's Club for refreshments.
Nice.
There will be a quiz with prizes.
Oh, I like
And
that.
yes, I think it's $20, so.
What do you buy tickets for that?
It'll be in the Oldsmar Experience magazine.
Okay,
There'll
cool.
be information, and there should be on the Historical Society website. So that's October 15th. I'm glad to see the Historical Society doing something, finally, some kind of event. So, any other board comments? Feel free. Wow, not even 6:45.
I've got comments.
All right,
I
Sue.
never can get out of here without comments. First of all, hats off to the city, the staff, and everybody. That is one of the best volunteer dinners I have been to in 20 years.
That was great.
That was great. Thank you.
It was the best meal. I know in the past we've had times that food ran out or it was chicken and base, so I figured the 3 years gave you guys a better budget to work with because there was prime rib and roasted turkey and
Who was there for their first time?
I was, so I was like,
Okay,
oh, it's like this
see?
all the time.
and I've been going to it for 20 years, and I'm telling you, it was one of the best meals we have ever had. So hats off to staff, city council, and everybody for a great job on that. It was one of our lowest attended ones, which may have also allowed us a little better meal as well. So however that works out, so my compliments on that one. Speaking of an October 15th, you guys can start noting your calendar. Oldsmar Friends of the Arts has purchased the rights to Moana Junior, Disney's Moana Junior, excuse me. That will be performed on October 15th. Auditions will be coming up in June 4th and 6th. So help pass the word to any of young people that would like to come and join us on that. And of course, you can go to ofota.org and find out more information. And since we just completed this one very successful project with the comments and surveys, I guess my next question is, what's next for us? Do we have anything in our loop for?
So yes, so the first thing, as the board understands their purpose, is for community feedback to find out what the community desires from a recreational standpoint. The next one is going to be more of a quality survey that we're going to do of our parks. So the next one, we'll have you guys go out again. We have a goal in our department of 80% positive, feedback on our surveys. So as we go forward, this will provide us a good opportunity to find out what people feel about the condition of our parks. Where do we need to focus? Do we need to focus on shelters? Do we need to focus on playground? So kind of like that. So it's going to be more of a quality survey. So that's it. That's the next one.
Thank you. Thank you. And that was all I had.
All righty.
Well, I can come up with 10 other things
Rich,
if you
my
need
fellow Gull Air resident, thank you for attending, and for anybody that's actually watching us on the broadcast, thank you for your interest. We always appreciate it, and always appreciate the openness of where we live, how everything is, out in the open here. Any further comments?
I do appreciate the shuttle service, even though it may not be a popular opinion. And, you know, for years, it was always a law not to park there. So I'm glad that there was a quick solution, and I hope that it'll move forward and more people will use it for the upcoming events.
I think it'll be good now that we're getting to know and we're able to advertise, and that was what we got stuck against, that I hollered so much at them about, that we didn't really find out till 2 days before our event.
Yeah, just
But
one-
it seemed to work.
And one note on the shuttle service, I think we had 13 the first one that we ran.
Or 13 at ours.
13 at yours, right?
Yeah.
13 at yours, and even the opening of the bike lanes on Park and Bayview have helped because we've
Yeah.
monitored that as well, and we haven't had full bike lanes, so
In
it
the
seems like
past,
the people who
right.
are coming and finding internal parking along the streets, but it doesn't fill all the way up to St. Pete Drive, so that's good, you know. So, and John and his staff go around each week before the
you
event
guys
and
gonna-
put door hangers that say, "Oh, event this weekend, bike lane will be, you know, open or
Are
closed."
you guys gonna handle Oldsmar Days or celebrate Oldsmar down there? That's like a crowd of 10,000.
Yeah,
Question
yeah,
is,
we're
like,
working on that. We're
what
working
happens
Gonna have to
at the
have more than library parking, I
We're
guess.
working on that.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, the if you take the number of cars that fit on the median, I think we have 100 spots at the library. Is that so? Just short of 100 spots at the library. So if we offset that balance of cars that are on the median to the library, then we've kind of solved that problem.
Okay.
So another comment, as we continue to grow, is there any room in the future to do like a multi-floor garage or use the Mobley Beach? Because I have big hopes that we'll continue to grow our events.
Yeah, so you know, the hard part with our events, and unfortunately with our parks in general, is that they're beautiful, they're designed well, but there's not a lot of parking. And that's when you start holding the events, it really puts stress on the neighborhoods. And so we've got to balance what we do, you know, and that's kind of like we have the Armadillo 5K and we have the Honor Our Heroes 5K. We have more requests for 5Ks, but you know, it's how often can we impact the neighborhood? We do Sunset Sounds, you know, once a month. Okay, so we have a concert every month, and you know, so it's a balancing act, you know, being respectful of the neighbors, but also understanding it's a community park, and you know, so.
Well, we used to only be limited to 6 events a month with like any kind of live music, and it sounds like that's been a little more flexible to grow and give us
Right.
more opportunity for
Right.
some of these other events.
Right.
So,
Yes.
And one other thing about parks, I don't know if this is something we can get on the agenda in the future, but so at Ari Olds Park, we have a couple different playgrounds, but it's just called Ari Olds Park. And some people are like, well, which one are we meeting at?
Right.
To go, oh, the little playground next to the amphitheater.
Right.
Could we somehow, our board, maybe brainstorm and come up with a name to present to city council that we could use? Would that even be a possibility? Just
well,
to
there's
have
shelter
an actual
numbers, aren't
name?
there?
There's shelter numbers, but you could, you know, like maybe like what you're thinking, you know, tot lot, or
That's what
you
I've
know,
heard,
something
like, that's not an
you know,
official name, but.
you know,
No, that's cool.
something
East
different.
lot or
Yeah,
east
east
or
lot,
west or.
Yeah,
I think
something we
that's
could,
right up our alley. That's
Yeah.
what- yeah.
for sure.
Who organizes
You'll have your
Sunset? I'm
list.
so sorry,
You'll
I
have
have
your
like questions going. Who organizes the Sunset?
So Eric Pavlica is our pretty much our
okay.
special events person, and John and Eric work together to organize those activities. Eric recruits he recruits or he surveys the bands. He selects the bands and the food trucks, and kind of sometimes tries to theme them depending on what the genre is. But yeah, it's Eric.
I was gonna ask, and I'll ask Eric if there's room to do like a Hispanic celebration for Hispanic Heritage Month where we could get
I think
like
if
a
you
theme.
read your survey results, then you may have some food for thought at the next meeting. So yeah,
I
because
think
there's
it's
certainly in
suggested also in the past, yeah.
in the survey results, cultural experiences are noted in there.
Yeah.
You know, cultural events. So. Oh.
Our issue right now is, at least I'm relatively new. I've been here for about a year. So when I came in, I kind of changed things around. I wanted to see what worked and what didn't. One of the things that I noticed that didn't work was that we had too many things going on. So we had something always going on. This kind of goes to your point. We had too many things. And I think what we're trying to do now, especially with like Sunset Sounds, where we did it like 6 or 7 times a year, we're probably going to do it 3 times a year. We're going to back off on some of these events look for cultural tie-ins when we can, maybe make them festivals instead of making them just, just your basic concert. But we're trying to figure out a way to get more bang for our buck without impacting the neighborhoods as much as we are. Because I'm down in that area all the time, so I know there's always something going on. If I lived there, I don't know if I'd be happy about that. So what we're trying to do is how can we not impact that neighborhood as much, but still give you guys, the residents, quality, either entertainment or programming in those parks. So that's we're kind of shifting gears in leisure services recreation right now. So I think you're gonna start seeing that our event calendar is gonna start shrinking, but it's gonna be more quality driven than it is quantity driven.
But I would think on your Sunset Sounds and your future thoughts, a salsa or Latino themed Sunset Sounds night would be a nice way to do it, spin off with everything from the food trucks, and that's great, that's great. And Hector and I'll be there dancing.
Yes.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?